It does make sense. And I can't speak for anybody else. I can just speak for me and my experience here at Western Connecticut. If you want to, our kids are completely, I don't want to say completely, but a little different than the private kids.
Yeah.
A lot of my players are first generation college students.
Uh-huh.
Their parents didn't go to college. They might be the oldest sibling in their family. A lot of my players work full time. A lot of my kids pay for their own education. So from that aspect, this is an entirely new experience, not only for the players or the student athletes, but also for their families and their parents.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think of that either, right? Like, I don't want to say in a bad way, right? They don't have a tradition of education of, long history of family. Everybody's going to college. They're the tip of the spear, right? Sort of breaking new ground for their family.
I'll use an example of one of my players, Philippe Dutra, who was the Rookie of the Year in our conference and also the Defensive Player of the Year in our conference. He is 22, 23 years old. He came to the country maybe 10, 15 years ago. Went to high school here at Naugatuck High School in Connecticut. And after his high school experience, what did he go do? He went and worked full time because that's what he needed to do to help his family. And that's what his family knew. After 4 or 5 years out of high school, he decided, I need to make a better life for myself and for my family and for my future. He decided to come to school. And it's not only Philippe that I can talk about. I have a great amount of players, that are like that. And that's the difference between us and maybe a private.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's the sort of thing I'm always curious about. Because actually, when I first started this, I didn't even think about inherent differences between a public and a private and all this stuff until a coach at a private school suggested I speak to the publics, and that's how I ended up speaking to the Steve Axtell at Cortland and realizing, right, like there's a substantive difference between the type of, I don't want to say players, right? I mean the students that attend a Western Connecticut versus a Tufts or comparable private school, right?
Absolutely,
comparable private school.
Absolutely, and again, there is a big difference. But those are the kids that I love to work with, and I love to help. My job isn't. So many parents come up to me after the game. Congratulations, thank you so much for what you're doing for it. Don't thank me now. Thank me after they graduate because that's when my job is complete.
Yeah.